NFL record 2,500 yards, including the playoffs last year, 18 touchdowns. So do you think Saquon can equal last year's production or be even better?
Look, I'm not going to say equal and like go for back-to-back 2,000 yard seasons. I would love to see it. I think all of us would. Even if you're not a Saquon or Eagles fan, to see history made like that.
And I think almost everyone's a Saquon fan.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
I
know people point at me because I was a skeptic, but I don't think anyone's like, you know who I can't stand? Saquon Barkley. Like, I don't think that person exists.
No, you're right. He's a great guy. So
you weren't a skeptic. You said that he's not a difference maker, that he only had one good year, that he's not really going to add anything that someone like a DeAndre Swift can add to the Philadelphia Eagles. That doesn't make you a skeptic. You could be skeptical of a lot of things. That wasn't skepticism. That was just straight up doubt and just denying the greatness of Saquon Barkley. Let's be very clear about that.
Look, I'm not saying 2K. I do think he can become, and I see no reason to say, other than injury, to say he won't become the first guy to follow up a 2,000-yard season with 1,500 or more yards. I think he can get in that 1,500-yard range.
That would be great.
The great offensive line is still there. You got enough. The receivers and the quarterback are good enough where you got to worry about the passing game. I agree. Like, he is motivated. He spent those years in New York where he obviously established himself as a great running back. But I'm sure he looks at that like, those were lost. That was 5 years of my career that are lost. And now he's excited, wants to prove, he said, the best running back ever. Like, I don't think he's a Hall of Famer yet.
No.
I mean,
not in the NFL. He's
because NFL is legit.
He's definitely not. I mean,
he needs another. Like, if he has another great year and they go to the Super Bowl or NFC Championship game, and he's the huge reason why, he could maybe solidify himself as a Hall of Famer. So he's got a lot of motivation. So, other than injury, I see no reason to think he won't.
So, that he won't have a great year.
Yeah.
Let me just clarify the Hall of Fame thing. I think he has Hall of Fame talent.
Yes,
but I think the NFL has done, in my opinion, a really good job of making the Hall of Fame really hard to make.
Yep.
And where all-time great players wait and sometimes don't get in. Now, that if you're one of those players or their family, you don't feel like it's awesome, but it's the opposite of what, in my opinion, basketball has done, where it's like, he was pretty good.
He wins a bunch of championships, was a starter.
Right.
2 All-Star games.
Yeah, and so I don't. So
he was a starter.
Right. I mean, it's like on a championship team. That almost.
So right now, I just think by what the NFL Hall of Fame precedent is, he's not yet.
Yeah.
And so he has that to play for. I agree with you, Brew, that he feels like, man, you play my career out 100 times. 75 of them versions I'm better than where I've been up to this point. You know what? And that's with last year's unbelievable season in there. And how much of that does he think, if he's being honest, is his fault? Probably not. And I wouldn't say it's his fault. So I get all that. Here is my hesitation on even the 1,500. Even if we remove the injury component, which is, I think, a real concern for anyone, particularly high usage running back with his history. It's a point you made the last time we talked about him, Wilds, in a different context, which is, man, a lot of those yards were on these breakaway, oh my God, runs.
Yep.
And those are the plays, sorry to be nerdy for a minute, that are historically not year-to-year sustainable. That those are, I'm not going to call them fluky because it's the blocking and his speed. But to have that many.
You also have to pop a run when you're in your own territory.
Well, that's the other. That's another reason. One of the reasons that they're not really predictive, because what sometimes is a 12-yard run can be an 82-yard run based on nothing changing other than where you are on the field when it occurs. And so I think that I would take obviously the under on 2,000, but I think a fair number would be like 1,400. You know what
Okay, let's talk about this. We are already doing such a disservice to Saquon Barkley. He has the rushing NFL records, including playoffs, the scrimmage yards, including playoffs, NFL record. First player with 2,500 plus rushing yards in a season plus playoffs. Eagles franchise record of 2,000 rushing yards. He's got rookie records. Most receptions by a rookie running back, 91. Third most scrimmage yards by a rookie, 2,228. Giants rookie record, 15 touchdowns. Tied the NFL rookie record, 14 catches in a game. Single game records, 255 rushing yards versus the Rams, 302 scrimmage yards versus the Rams, 205 playoff rushing yards versus the Rams, most 60-plus yard touchdowns in a season, 7, which is just bonkers. 2018 NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year, NFL Offensive Player of the Year, Super Bowl champion, third player to lead the NFL in rushing and wins, as well as, I got his Wikipedia page up here, NFL Top 100 in 2019, 2020, 2023, 2024, three-time Pro Bowler, first team All-Pro, NFL rushing yards leader, some other records, most 100-plus yards from scrimmage games by a rookie, most 50-plus yards, touchdowns by a rookie, most receptions by a rookie running back, most rushing yards in NFL season, regular and postseason, and some of these obviously are some repeats. I mean, like, what are we saying here, man? Like, they're pretending like he's just been like when they were comparing him to basketball, like he was just like kind of a good player who was just how happened to be, winning some rings because like he hit a couple threes here and there or something like that, or he plays like 10 minutes, a role player playing 12 minutes or something. Like, come on, this is insanity. Saquon Barkley's been an absolute monster and an absolute beast. And listen, I have no idea at the end of the day what he's going to be able to do with the Philadelphia Eagles in his follow-up year, because I just know football is crazy. And year to year, everything can change. And I have no idea how these games are going to unfold, what they're going to need from Saquon. I know one thing, they're not trying to chase anything. They're not trying to prove anything to anyone. They're just trying to win games. They're just trying to win games and win another Super Bowl. That is their agenda. They're not trying to send a message. Jalen Hurts isn't going to be like, everyone said that I couldn't throw the ball. Now this season, I'm going to throw the ball. They're not going to try to force feed the ball to AJ. They're not going to force feed the ball to Saquon. They're going to let the games come to them. That's what they do. That's what they've consistently done for years. The Philadelphia Eagles have never tried to send a message to the NFL. Ever, ever, ever. When we look at some of these other teams, they do. The Detroit Lions, famously, they always want to send a message. They always want their revenge. The Kansas City Chiefs, look at some of those earlier years with Patrick Mahomes. They wanted to just keep running the score up and keep putting up the numbers as high as they could go. That was their agenda. That much is very clear, very obvious. That is not what the Philadelphia Eagles do. Just not. It's not how they operate. They don't chase stats. They don't try to, boost players' numbers. They just let it be. I mean, Saquon Barkley could have had even bigger numbers. We know that. And he chose not to. The Eagles chose not to. Not even just sitting out the final game of the season, but just even throughout the season. The Giants game comes to mind as probably the best example of that. I mean, that's just the way it works. Heck, even in the playoffs, Saquon Barkley sliding and whatnot. So all of those other things are very unpredictable. If the Eagles are up 21-10, and it's the fourth quarter, 8 minutes to go, do they start to be a little bit more conservative and just really start pulling Saquon out? When last season they didn't do that because they were still trying to get back into their rhythm. They were still trying to figure out who are they as a team. They know who they are. They know their identity. But what adversity are they going to face this coming season? Probably plenty. That's how football works. And so there's a lot of unknowns. Maybe AJ Brown goes down for 5 games. Maybe Jalen Hurts gets banged up. Like, we just have no idea. So trying to figure out whether or not, saying like, I think 1,400 is real, like, that's absurd to me. And the way how the conversation is being discussed is kind of absurd to me, because it's kind of like, well, can he handle it? Can he do this? And it's like, yes, he obviously can. 1,000%. To doubt that, to doubt his greatness is insanity. If you want to question how will the games unfold, that makes sense. That makes sense. Because that's not skepticism. That's just admitting, I don't know, man. Is it going to rain on Sunday at 1 o'clock? Is it going to be a snowstorm? Is it going to be windy? Like, I don't know. I don't know, and you don't know. Like, that's the only reason why you should be like, I don't know if he can do X, Y, and Z. But if we're going to say, well, I don't think he can do X, Y, and Z because, and we're going to start just to give up completely made up reasons, that's absurd to me. That doesn't make any sense to me. We have to look at it more technically. We have to look at it more from like a, how will these games unfold? What will the Eagles need from Saquon in any given moment? They have another running back now. They have a different offensive coordinator. Their O-line is going to look a little different. Their defense is going to look a little different. Do they need to score more points than they did in the past? Like, I don't know. Jalen Hurts going to take another step forward in his game. Is he going to be even better than he has been in years past? Are they going to try to get Saquon Barkley the ball more in the passing game? I got no idea. So, but to try to predict based on doubt, nah, man. That's where you lose me. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Philadelphia Eagles and Saquon Barkley? What do you think the chances are that he repeats last year's success? It's kind of funny that we've kind of brought this up like multiple times. Like, I don't know why this is like the story that we want to keep carrying into the offseason, into this coming season about Saquon Barkley. Like, it's kind of a weird one, honestly. But let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. Please do consider subscribing, as we are building an amazing community here. I'd absolutely love to see you part of it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.